signsastrology.com. So pretty much, just to get straight into it, what happened with me is that, or I guess you can say the family, what happened with us is that last year we had a major transition. A lot of shit happened, and this was right before COVID, essentially. And I wasn't making videos at the time. And essentially what I did was that I bought, through a long process, some General Electric shares. And that was about a year ago. And, pleased to announce that, according to my calculations, the money that was invested in these shares, which was like an anonymous amount, I'm not going to go into it, but it was 10 times. So the energy that we invested, the currency that we invested into the General Electric stock, 10 times as of yesterday. And people flipping out, man, because they went and they moved it from the doubles or double brackets. Because you got to remember, I was telling you and teaching a lot of you guys how everything is based on levels. Everything in this damn fucking industry, if you want to call it that, is based on levels, right? So we're now in the General Electric stock is now in the triple level. See, I got some close followers that work at General Electric. They follow me real closely, right? And they know what I'm talking about is true, of course, because you see they changed everything around. And I'm really happy they did, because I made a shitload of money. And that's what I was trying to tell the Reds. Like, it's cool, man. I told you really didn't take a lot from me, because the only thing they're going to do is just convert those profits into... See, I visa every aspect of what I do. So the only thing they're going to do is take those profits and convert it and convert it into a situation where it makes everything, easier for a person like myself that already has shares to do, or it makes everything easier as far as being able to cross over through the toll roads and things of that nature when you're traveling, and you don't lose as many commodities when you're traveling as a sovereign. So I'm moving into what's called the insurance mode of sovereignty, to where now it's kind of like I'm moving like I have an ID, even though I don't, and I could just easily, with the click of a button, just transfer funds from one state to the next, or from one market to the next. So that's essentially what happened, especially with the General Electric shares tripling like that, or 10 times in itself, which is, essentially 10 times itself. So like with that, that has it to where, like, no matter what market I'm in, I could just take him, and buy some energy shares. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to show some type of success. See, people need to see success in your ritual. See, we were successful in this ritual, me and my spiritual or soul family. And that's what they mad about, because I was trying to teach people how the man and the woman relationship is getting old, where it's just two people. See, these top flight relationships that's making a shitload of money, that's on the cutting edge, they involved in what's called a three. You may call it a threesome, or what's essentially called like a 3-person. Essentially, it's like 3 people involved in a family, or you may call it, a menage a trois, or whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is that it's 3 people involved in a group, and it's not just about the sex though. See, that's where you get it twisted at. See, once you all have sex and, your energy is all mixed up together in like a feng shui type of way, see, now you've created what's called an energy flag. And that's what I did. See, that's why they moved into triples. You see, they moved in from doubles to triples, because in modern relationships, what do they teach you? A man and a woman, 2 people. And they teach you that that's the relationship, not even showing you how much debt you accumulate in that. Whereas you come into this situation where you working in 3s. So you don't need 5 wives and all that. No, all you need is 2 women if you're a man. That's all you need. And there will be no cheating involved if you set it up correctly. There will be no cheating involved, because it's a certain way you do it, to where you create an energy flag. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Create an energy flag. So even if it gets to a point where one of those women want to step out on the outside and do her thing on the outside of the relationship, and she wants to leave the family, you got an energy flag though. So anything she do, you can claim interest over that new experience. So say for instance, she decides she want to go out and, mess with someone else or whatever, like you guys, she tired, whatever, she's been in the situation, she wants to move on. You got an energy flag. So whoever she decides to mess with, that's a part of your group. You're going to get interest off of that person. And people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth because you've set up an energy flag because you set it up to where everything happens in threes. You see, there's no, because you may say, so what about a situation where, where it's a situation where you were the woman and she got a man on the side and then you got another woman on the side. So that's 4 people, right? So like, what about that situation? But they didn't see. The thing is that here's where the energy flag comes in at. And I ain't gonna say too much more and I'm gonna shut down. They didn't mix chemistry though. You see, essentially, they didn't mix chemistry. Yeah, she may have laid down with dude and then turned around and came and then laid down with you, but she did that outside of the agreement though. You see, she did that without telling. Essentially, she used deception. If a female does it or if a male does it, if a male goes out and, decides to bring somebody into the family without telling the family, which is the original group, that's a form of cheating. That's a form of deception. So that's what they're not going to teach you. So what I did with this energy flag, or what I see, not really what I did, because I didn't really know how they were going to end up vising me. I want to point that out too. Like, based upon me forming this flag, I didn't know exactly how they was going to visa me, meaning that, like, I didn't know what they was going to give me or grant me based upon my investments. Like, I didn't know how they were going to do it. I didn't realize they were going to move into triples. And to me, that was an excellent idea, though. That was an excellent idea because, like I said, with that, it basically moves it to a situation, or moves us into a situation to where now we can actually benefit financially off of the odd. Because I think Amazon's stock too is triple. Because you got singles, but singles are going out. Like single numbers and all that. Single numbers are going out. There's a reason for all of that. Like, like shares going from like 1 all the way to 9 or whatever. Like before you get into double numbers. See, single numbers are going out. As far as like, what I mean by that is like rituals, doing rituals with single numbers, right, where it's just you or a 1-person ritual. See, those rituals are going out. Those rituals are going out. The reason why those rituals are going out is because you need a soul family. You need some form of an astral family. You saying that you're doing rituals and walking around by yourself and doing certain rituals is not building up character. You see, that's not making you a man, or in your case, if you're a male, thinking like this, because I'm kind of more so addressing men on this part. That's not making you a male. You see, singles saying, well, I'm going to go out here and, you can start off that way in a situation by yourself where you kind of just building up on your own and you out searching for a family. Because I mean, that's what's going to happen. Like once you essentially build up, because that's what the mode I'm in. Like I found my family. I invested. In my case, I invested $400,000 into my family, and then essentially they gonna move on after about 2-3 weeks or whatever. Your family's gonna move on and go off and do whatever it is that they do. And as far as based on the new agreement and new situation, so you may have to get to a situation where you now by yourself again, and you start back over again, and you by yourself. So in that case, when you by yourself and you working by yourself through the energy flag, though, everything that you do is still a part of the family. See, everything that you do by yourself you really no longer single anymore. So what do I mean by that? Anything that you do with your hands and things of that nature is all a part of the family until you figure out a way to visa. You pretty much stuck in that. Like if you want to get a divorce out of that situation, the only way you're going to get a divorce out of that situation is if you figure out a way to visa the past. Essentially is what it is, meaning that you visa the investments and everything that you spent to build up this family. Essentially is what it is. So this is like the new way of living, and this is the Lumerian way of living, and that's why a lot of people don't really understand what I'm teaching. They don't really understand what I'm talking about. It's causing a major uproar because, as you can kind of see, this is getting to a point now, especially with this thing, with this new triple General Electric stock, it's getting to a point now to where like you don't really have to you don't really have to take a woman, for instance, in a situation where, it's like one man and one woman, and then you go out and get a job, and, she goes out and get a job, and you put your money together and things of that nature, and then you spend your money and you work and things of that nature and put your money together in what's called like a domestic partnership. See, with this General Electric flag, this is going to have it to where that's gone out the window. You don't even have to live in a domestic situation like that anymore, because now you can benefit off of everything that you using your body to do. You and that person are using your body to do. So all the food you eat, not only can you benefit financially, you can make a profit off of this. Every time you and your partner have sex, if you and your partner not having sex and you out here, basically deciding to masturbate or whatever the case may be, you could financially benefit from that. So you can financially benefit on every level, and it's you become more of a lucrative bond, because now you got a spiritual family. See, now you got a soul family. You done invested this money into this soul family or whatever, right? Like however much it is or whatever. So now your equity is higher. See, this is real living. This is what they don't want you to see or whatever. Like all of this other stuff about going to get a job and saving up money, you're still up under the umbrella. See, it's about umbrellas too. You're still up under the umbrella of another entity. Yeah, you may have a job and you feel like you're independent, they can't do anything to you and this and that, but remember, you up under a contract. That job is up under somebody's profit. Remember that, meaning that there's an entrepreneur somewhere making a profit off of that job. And as soon as they decide they losing money, they gonna cut you and your family's gonna feel it. You see, so this is why the dual and a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear this because they like you pushing and promoting against normal relationships though by talking about this 3 thing, and then you making it to where it's not fair because the male gets 2 women and the woman only gets a male. Why isn't that? That's not fair. And remember, I told you, she doesn't have to stay stuck in it. She can go out and do whatever she wants to do as long as she informs the family first, because she's introducing a new ticket, essentially what would turn into. Anybody you bring into the new circle or the new energy flag, it becomes a ticket. Like you get a speeding ticket and traffic ticket, it becomes a ticket. Meaning that person is a ticket. You have to monitor that person for a certain amount of time to make sure that they're not creating an energy flag and affecting your money. Because once you get into the situation, the weakest link can't make it. Everybody has to still hold their own. Meaning that the weakest link in the energy flag can't make it. Everybody has to hold their own. The weakest link is the person that's not producing profit or the least amount of profit. So it's kind of like a competition or whatever, week to week. So the weakest link has to find a way to make more profit, increase their profit, things of that nature. See, this is what they're not going to teach. This is called domestic living or domestic partnership, where you actually making it from a multi-level marketing perspective, from an astral pyramid perspective. This essentially what happened with this General Electric stock. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down here. This finally puts a cap on the proof that I need about my program. Everything that I talked about in these past 2 years has now finally fulfilled itself, because the General Electric share is now moved from doubles, or from 3 units, and from singles. It actually was single, believe it or not, singles and doubles, because it moved into the doubles. That's what happened. It started off single when we first bought our investments. It was a single share, or single unit, or single figure. Then it doubled and moved into the doubles, and now it's in the triples. And this is the multiplication or the interest and how much we have now in it. This is how we moved into 6 figures. When we first started out, we didn't have 6 figures in it. We moved into 6. We have 6 figures in shares. My soul family in this thing. So, and still growing, still producing videos, still going against the NSA because they looking at me like a rogue, saying that I'm a cult leader now. See, they got that going on now. Oh, he's a cult leader. He's got these women up under him, following him, and this and that in the nature, and he's abusing these women, and this, that, and the third, and we got to stop this shit type of shit. See, that's the same shit they did. They're afraid of powerful men that are smart and intelligent and know how to survive on their own. See, they had me in a situation. They said I wasn't supposed to make it. You got to remember that. This type of teaching is supposed to be what's called an Area 51 teaching, meaning that it's not real. You're not supposed to be able to make no money out and go and turn this into a multi-level marketing company. talking about Belzoni's chamber and the astral pyramid. Here you is, you got some guys at GE that's executives that's now listening to you, and they gonna switch that shit over. You're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to have, two women and be in a threesome without actually being in one and be able to take care of them financially through your channel. You're not supposed to be able to do those things. But I did it, and I'm happy I did it, and I want to send a shout out to everyone that participated. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. We're going to definitely keep this moving, because now we must follow the prophet. We must follow the energy flag. This is what astrology is about. This is called operative astrology.